Well, I think certainly was in line with market expectations, but if you look at the movements from a year ago, clearly there has been an improvement in the labour market with employment up and the unemployment rate down. I guess there's still a lot of volatility as a result of what's happened in Christchurch. We note that employment in Christchurch fell and the unemployment rate increased. We'll have to see how that pans out over the next coming few quarters, but I think overall I'm still expecting an ongoing improvement in the labour market over the second half of this year. What's quite interesting in the numbers, however, is that there is certainly a strong underlying demand for labour, with hours worked up a very strong 1.6%. So I think that's a case of, while we haven't had much growth in physical bodies, certainly those that are in work having to work longer, and ultimately I think that's a sign that demand for labour is picking up.
Yeah, so ultimately that would mean that people would have to employ people.
Yeah. Once people. I think one of the things we have to remember is that during the recession, we did have a lot of workers having their hours cut back, trying to preserve jobs. So as the recovery comes about, we can expect the first thing that most employers will do is to increase the hours. But once hours work gets back to more normal levels, then the next stage will be to see further growth in employment.
Okay, right. And where do you see the unemployment rate tracking over the next year or two?
I think it's quite possible we might see the unemployment rate head below 6% by towards the end of this year, or certainly even early next year. I think all the labour market indicators are pointing towards improvement, and the other thing we have to note as well is that our labour market statistics is somewhat volatile. So I think we're going to see better performance in the third quarter.